Well, as I said before, the story is character-driven. It doesn't really concentrate as much on plot as it does the characters and the circumstances that surround them and how they deal with these set of circumstances. And with that in mind, the characters are quite extensive, and they were written that way. Almost incredible to an extreme. I wanted, you know, when you deal with a cast of unknowns in a production like this, you have to have some memorable qualities about the characters, some traits that distinctly set them apart from the others, or else, you know, if you deal with soap operas in the real world, you have so many beautiful people on that show that you can't remember, they all look alike. You know, all the men on the show look alike, and you can only tell them apart by the color of their hair sometimes. They're the thick-jawed, muscle-bound, black-haired guys with their shirt buttoned 2 buttons down, or they are the same thick-jawed, big-muscled guys with black hair and a suit. And it's tough to tell them apart, so you have to give, when you deal with a cast of unknowns, especially students, you have to give them each a separate quality. And each character has a distinct trait about them. For instance, you have Mark. Mark is blind. He lost his sight when he was in his early teens. He used to race cars as a kid, little go-karts. And the story behind Mark is he drove it through a plate glass window and lost his sight, and consequently it's now almost 10 years later and he's learned to deal with his own inadequacies, but he never gives up on his dream of getting his sight back. He's a big NASCAR fan. Thus you see the posters in his room that deal with NASCAR. And he wants to see again. He wants to drive a car again. His favorite thing in life was driving. As an early teen, he never had the chance to experience driving a car other than go-karts. He was looking forward to that kind of thing. You know, there are some people that love NASCAR. They have a love of something, and his passion for wanting to race is evident, and you'll see how it comes to full boil into this show, in this production. And Mark is an interesting character because he is blind. He has a passion for something he'll never be able to do again, but he never gives up on that dream. And that's one of the traits that I think is very important among the characters. 2 other characters that are almost soulmates in a way are Jack and Kim. Both are aspiring theater majors who want to hit it big in either Hollywood or Broadway. Jack overshadows Kim on the campus because he is a great actor. Probably, you know, everybody goes to see Jack at the theater when there's plays. Jack is the greatest. He kind of overshadows Kim. They're best friends, and there's a little something more there that they both wanted to act on, but they can't because they have a mutual friend in Cindy, and Cindy is Jack's girlfriend, and Cindy is Kim's best friend. So there's a little bit of inner conflict there because they really like each other. They're really made for each other, but at this point, he's dating someone else who happens to be Kim's best friend. And that's personally, on a professional level, you know, on the night of the production when a talent scout is in the audience and they're having a huge party for Jack. He's off to New York to chase his dream of acting, and they're having a huge party for him. The talent scout arrives and gives it to Kim. And all in one night, Jack's dreams are shattered. He loses his best friend. He gets into a fight with his girlfriend. He breaks up. So it's kind of a nightmare for Jack and Kim. And that's where the saying comes in, the only regrets you have in life are the risks you never take. What's more important? Taking the risk? Is it a risk to go and chase your dreams, or is it a risk to risk that soulmate that you may never find again in life to chase those dreams? Another character that I'm very fond of in this production is that of Laura. Laura is probably, the female characters in this production are probably stronger than the male characters. Laura I especially like because I've known people like her, and I'm sure everybody else does too. She's the soap opera hoe bag. She's the soap opera sleaze, and but she's not just, she doesn't just sleep around. She's the smartest of the group. She has an extremely high IQ. She has a secret past that we discover throughout the 6 episodes that we discover why she is. And it's revealed later in the show that, you know, she's not just a sleaze, but there is a dark and sinister past there of why she is and how she has to overcome those inadequacies to further the production. Brett is based on a really good friend of mine from college, a wild party animal, a lot of character. When I was talking to Jared Shaw, who portrays Brett in the production in Neon, I told him I wanted him to play it like Stifler in American Pie, in American Pie 2. I wanted him to be a wild and crazy, zany guy, but by the same token, I wanted him to have a darker side that no one sees. He has a very professional side, a very business side. He is he deals illegal substances and makes a lot of money off of it. His parents have died at a younger age, inherited a fortune that he basically owns the house. He bought the house outright from the college that it's supposed to sit on and doesn't charge rent to his friends. You know, he funds all the parties. He's a great guy he's the kind of guy that you want to get out and have a beer with. But by the same token, he has a very dark and sinister secret side that I think is really nice, because you have like a Jekyll and Hyde persona. You have the hey, it's the party time king, and on the other side you have the very strict Wall Street professional who deals with his business, and business is business, almost like The Godfather. Cleve, in a way, portrayed by Grant Jack, has a little bit of elements of me in it. I mean, I can name a dozen people I've met throughout the years when I've been director of University Television Station, CUTV, that have been aspiring film majors. So, I mean, you have to have an aspiring film major here who wants to hit it big. He has sights of making it like the next Robert Zemeckis, the next Martin Scorsese, the next Steven Spielberg. And, you know, you see so many of those people in college that even go out and make college movies that really have some talent. And I like Cleve because he reminds me a little bit of me. Cindy is the first to graduate college from her family, and she considers that very important indeed. Her father almost had the chance to graduate, got so far, and they had her as an accident. He had to drop out and support a family, and she's the first from her family to graduate college. Cindy is very dependent. She always has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend at the start of this production is Jack, and she soon realizes that she doesn't need to depend on someone to make it in life. She's a very strong character, a very independent young lady, and it's not until the progression of the production that she realizes that, you know, you don't always need someone to get through in life. And I think that's another strong message that you can send out, another positive message that this production can send out to anyone in college, teenagers, you know, people in their early 20s, that you don't need someone to get by. Stability isn't necessarily security. And I think that her character is a very positive one. And with that in mind, the characters are quite extensive.
You know how they say college is the best years of your life?
Yeah.
They're right.